Hello everybody, welcome back. It is me, your old pal Orpheus, with another adventure here on the Madness and Mayhem podcast. Yes, that's right, another chance for you to get on the headphones and just listen to the smooth sounds of your old pal Orpheus here as we go into some interesting topics and things from life in general. So today I wanted to talk about something that I think is kind of topical. We've been seeing kind of a strange time in our lives lately, and I think it's important to talk about, well, personal safety and something that we do here at home in order to keep going on that. So with all that being said, I hope that you are doing well wherever you are today, whether it is day or night, or you found yourself, calling for Batman and he's not showing up because, well, your bat signal ran out of batteries. Oh God, no. Anyway, so like I said today, what I wanted to talk about is there's kind of a thing going on in the world that's a little scary. There's kind of like dissent going on more and more, and by dissent I mean like there's really polarizing ideas out there in the world, but here in the United States, for those of my foreign listeners, we have, boy, if you didn't know, there are some topics that are burning up the United States here, and I'm not going to go into any of them here. Don't worry, this is not a political podcast. I'll never do any of that stuff. Oh, what's in the news today? Who cares? Unless it's like an asteroid that's going to destroy the planet, I'm not going to talk about it. So you don't have to worry about any of that here on my podcast. But what I will say is that there has been a great deal of unrest, and for a long time, there's been a poll that's been asked of Americans, and it says, "Do you think that there will be some sort of civil unrest in terms of like rioting and like sedition or secession from the government by places like Texas and Colorado and things like that?" And it's been. Honestly, it's been kind of scary to live in a world like this. They used to say that when you get older, the midlife crisis thing is you get that impending sense of doom when you get to your 40s and 50s and 60s, where you start thinking, oh, the world is going to end, oh, God, and everything. And the joke is from The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is that, no, that's just called middle age, okay? There's no crisis going on in the world that's any bigger than it ever has been. It's just that you are now seeing things kind of in a dreary and melancholy way. Well, now here's the problem. There is something called climate anxiety that's out there. It is a real, I guess, mental disorder or cognitive disorder where people are just freaked out about how the environment is and how the planet is these days. And they're freaked out about how, the world might actually end within their lifetime, which is absolutely terrifying effing experience to go through. I can't imagine that. But the thing is, people are starting to go through that like midlife crisis at like 16 or 15 or 14. We deal with kids on a regular basis. My wife has a job where we interface with students a lot, and we're finding out that a lot of them are literally freaked out about whether the world is going to make it for the next 50 years or so. And so, facing all of that, there's been, violent events at schools, there's been violent events at festivals and things like that. And again, for my non-US listeners, a little bit more about that sort of thing that goes on. The rest of the world is, compared to the United States, one of the biggest things that always shocked me when I used to travel a lot is you'd get off the plane in some foreign country and you look and the security guards have automatic machine guns. And you're like, I'm not in Kansas anymore, am I? That kind of thing. And so, where am I going with all this? Well, it's been an interesting few years, and for the first time in my life and my wife's life, we purchased some things that we never thought that we would before. namely some ballistic shields, which are bulletproof insert panels. We put them in our bags so that if there's ever any kind of thing that goes on, we can just kind of huddle behind our bags or our backpacks or whatever we've got with us. I've got several of these ballistic panels in several of our bags, including little, like, you know, those crossbody messenger bags, the smaller ones. Yeah, I've got a ballistic panel that fits into one of those. I'm guessing in some fantasy I have, I'm going to hold it up like Captain America and stop some bullets. I don't know. Anyway, it's a little tiny measure like that makes me feel a little bit safer for myself and for my wife, Mrs. Orpheus. When I send her out during the day for her job or wherever she's going, it's nice to know that she's got that there in case something happens. She can shield herself or, other people around her. Now, one of the other things that kind of stems off of that is we've started to become one of those households that keeps ourselves armed. And I mean that in several different ways. I've told some stories here on my channel about how, we've purchased some firearms here in the recent past. And boy, has it been an interesting time to live in, because it used to be like for our household, both my wife and I grew up around guns and hunting and fishing and going out in the woods and hiking and motorcycling and all that stuff. And so growing up with guns was really like just every day for me. I've fired all sorts of weapons in my life. My family owned all sorts of weapons in my life. I'll probably tell a story at some point of how we got some of those weapons. That is a very, very interesting story, and you'll have to stay tuned to the channel for that one at some point along the way. But I grew up shooting all sorts of guns. If you're a gun person, I'm going to name off some ones that are the big ones, but you may know them if you're not a big shooter. So I grew up on things like the M16, the AK-47, the HK-91, the HK-94, Lugers, Smith & Wessons, like Winchester or lever action rifles and things. I had my first 22 lever action rifle when I was 5 years old, something like that. And so I've always grown up around the proper range safety. My father was just absolute tyrant about, the rules that you have with range safety and stuff like that. And actually, I've been going back to the range. I'm going to do another episode about that, but I'm going to do that in the Blade and Sorcery world so that it's a little bit more energetic. Lately, I've been having some cognitive and physical issues, so that's why I've been doing a few more podcasts here and there, and that's kind of what today is. I was going to record some other content, but I couldn't get to it, so you got the podcast today, so there you go. But getting back to what I was talking about, I grew up around all sorts of firearms, and past a certain point, life went on, and getting out into the woods and, shooting guns when you don't own any is a little rough. So, you got to find some friends that might have some handguns or some rifles or something. And it's always been just kind of like, I grew up doing it. I like it, and it's something that I don't think I would ever get back to, especially not in the place where we live now. There's never really been like, there's nowhere to really go out to and shoot. I mean, there's some federal land that you're allowed to do that on, but it's like, I just don't. I'm not the kind of person that's going to load up a truck full of guns and go out and into the desert and start shooting stuff. But so over the last several years, boy, since COVID started, things have been a little spooky, and like you get this feeling like someone might kick down your door at any time. And I'm schizophrenic, so, and I have brain damage and autism and PTSD and hypervigilance and all these things. So for me, it's always been kind of a, oh my gosh, something might happen at any time. And I don't want to say that I'm a prepper, okay, like that my wife and I are preppers, but we do have a certain amount of supplies set aside. We do have a certain amount of medical stuff and, gadgets for keeping in contact in case something goes wrong with the world, like, ham radio and stuff like that. We're not preppers, but we do have a certain amount of preparedness if something weird happens. And stemming off of that, we have weapons stashed all over our house. Because look, this is a concept that I don't know if you're familiar with, but if someone breaks into your house, right, and they're like kind of yanking you around and they want you to get valuables from here and go get your jewelry from there, and do you have any cash in the house and everything, if they're leading you around your house and they want you to get your jewelry, for instance, well, you can hide a knife somewhere near your jewelry box, or hey, if you have a big enough jewelry box, hide one in there, or a little pistol or something. So that way, if someone is messing with you, you have a better chance of defending yourself and maybe getting the upper hand in a situation. Well, here in our house, man, we have knives and clubs and bats and like batons and swords and like I've even got a blowgun in the other room that's hidden. Like, you go, Orpheus, why would you need a blowgun? Well, I mean, first of all, they're great for hunting small game, just so you know that. But they're also fun for target shooting. And could you imagine, like, you break into someone's house and you come around a corner and and the guy's got a blowgun pointed at you and he just goes, oof. And it's like, shink, oh my God, ouch. I don't think I'd want to stick around in that house. I'm like, if this guy is starting the meal off with a blowgun, where is he going to go with it after that? But we have things like knives hidden in books in our bookshelf. So like, we've got, and I'm not giving away any big secrets, a lot of you have these in your houses, those fake book safe things. We have lots of bookshelves in our house. And so finding, the individual book safes that we have would be an absolute nightmare. If you're someone, who's trying to find them, you'd have to go through the whole house. It would take you 6 to 8 hours just to find some of the stuff in our house. Anyway, so like if someone goes, give me the cash, or I'm gonna beat you up real hard or do something like that, I can go, okay, come on over here. We have some of the book safes that are empty to screw with people. So if you do find one and you crack it open, you go, there's nothing in here anyway. What's going on, right? So we have them in some certain bookcases, and I can get to those knives real quick and flash around and, We've also got things called freedom drawers in our house. So I stand in my kitchen most of the day. It's one of the little quirks from my autism. I literally stand in the same place in my kitchen for 6 to 8 hours a day. I've got a little, station where I've got all the things that I need in order to make my day, happy and go smooth. But I've also got my freedom drawer, which is the drawer that's right in front of me in the kitchen. I just kind of open that up and I've got a pistol right there, like I got a revolver right in that drawer ready to go if something weird happens. We've got on the side of our bed between the mattress and the box spring, there's a little cardboard insert that I have that's attached to a holster, and I have another pistol right there, so I can just reach around the side of my bed and boom, I got a pistol right there. Strangely enough, pardon the pun, boom, I got a pistol. Got a little gun safe next to the bed as well with another thing in there. And so it's stuff like that. In the bathroom even, we have what's known as a DOP kit. It's a shaving kit, I guess, a little toiletry bag that's hanging on the wall, and hidden behind that is a little neck knife, Because you never know. I mean, you think about it, what are some of the most vulnerable times that you are in your house? When you're showering or going to the bathroom, right? So, why would you not have some sort of weapon in the bathroom? Because some of us always lock the door no matter what, if there's someone home or not, and some of you don't. But, well, you at least probably have a lock on your door, so if something goes bad in your house, you can lock yourself in the bathroom, get that weapon, get ready for anything that comes through that door, or be proactive and go busting your ass out there and go after who's ever in your house. It gets even deeper than that, though, in our house. We have different rifles that are hidden under tapestries and stuff in our home. So if I can get a chance, I duck off into one room and grab one of those off the wall behind a tapestry. We're just a family that's very prepared, and I don't think I'm alone in this. Are we the only ones that are like this? Leave a comment in the comments below. Let me know if you're that kind of person as well, because I think during these days, and especially going on into the future, not only does it give us this feeling of protection and and warmth and kind of coziness, because you know that you can defend yourself if someone, tries to get into your house, a baddie tries to steal your stuff and take away, a little bit of your happiness. It feels good. It feels secure, and it helps a little bit with my hypervigilance. It is something that I know, if anything, if I need to, I got something within arm's length basically all the time. Even here, sitting at my computer desk, I have a little knife tucked in right under my desk on a little tiny shelf. Anyway, that's my little blurb for today, the fully armed and operational Orpheus's battle station. Anyway, I hope you are doing well. Continue to do well and treat yourself well, because you know what? You deserve it. And keep yourself safe and protected. We'll see you in the next one here on Orpheus Plays. Bye!